We are at Suzuka. This is round 5, and we are with the Endurance for Amateurs series here tonight here on ESPN, and what's set to be another high action, high impact race here with these guys. We're definitely going to be looking forward to it tonight. Good evening, everybody. My name is Sam Cooper here, rocking solo in the booth for you tonight. Thank you for making us a part of your evening. We have 28 drivers set to take the green here tonight for this one, and it is set to be a great event for all to see. Looking ahead on the point standings, we have a very close battle in both series, both the GTE class and the GT3 class, and let's take a look at the point standings going into tonight. Bryce Anderson currently holding a 4-point lead over Dennis Diaz, who's running a very interesting paint scheme tonight. We'll get into that in a minute. Stephen Thompson currently sitting third, with Michael Ogren, last week's winner at Sebring, currently sitting in P4. Brad McCombs P5, P6 going to Mark Dillon Jr. Grant Yingling, who won a couple of weeks ago, is in P7. Jesse Brannon P8, P9 to Paul Boyle, and P10 to Tyler Berger. Then you've got Connor Daly, Colin Tabor, Hunter McRoby, Terry Calgar Jr., Aaron Mathry, Kyle Payne, and Jacob Falcon in those standings, and I believe that's it for them. That is it for them. As we're going to go to your GT3 standings, and it's just as close at the top as it is in GTE. Tony Watson still the points leader, despite having a uncharacteristically after having an uncharacteristically bad race last week at Sebring. Then we got Lynn Kopp in second, Zachary Nurnberger in third, but then you got to look back to P4. Carter McCollman is slowly sliding his way up through the table there. He's got 3 wins on the bounces. He's going to make it 4 in a row here tonight. We'll find out in this race. Then you've got Fernando de Oliveira, Lane Fowler, Marcus Osborne, Sean Atkins, Timothy Emanuele, Emily Mathry rounding out your top 10. Then you've got Raphael Santiago, Dave Ferrara. Now, Dave Ferrara had his points added to his GT3 standings last week, even though he ran a GTE last week. He actually is a GT3 driver, so his points for last week were awarded for his GT3 escapades. Then you got Rex Hoyle in 13th, Daniel Barnett in P14, Travis Crow P15. Then you got Jacob Jarman, Atticus Middleton, Tyler Ruhr. And going a bit further back, then you got Richard Deshower, Adam Smith, Patrick Moore, Connor Daly. Connor Daly obviously ran in GT3 last week for some reason. Kenneth Graves, no points on the board yet. I don't think he's run a race yet. Currently sitting at the bottom of the standings. But we are here for racing here tonight, as we're currently looking at Kyle Payne in the number 68 BMW. And Bryce Anderson is the fastest out on track so far. They're going to be interesting to see how he can keep that momentum up in this session. We have just got the checkered flag for practice, so practice is over and done with, and we should be ticking over to qualifying very soon. As we welcome everybody to your in the chat right now. Lots of people supporting their drivers. Dennis Diaz getting some support out there. Can he get a race win this time around? He was very unfortunate last time out. He's been very unfortunate to not get on the top step of the podium this season. As we're looking at Lane Fowler, the first driver out on pit road right now, and we will get the qualifying standings up for you as soon as they come in. Now, we're going to be seeing GTE and GT3 very fast round here, and obviously we are going to get some high-paced action from all of them, as Suzuka, a very, very technical track here. Lots of speed, lots of corners, and lots of lots of punishment if you get it all wrong, especially through these 2 Degner corners. They can really catch you out here into the right-hander here. We saw a Formula 1 driver have a very serious accident through here a couple of years ago. Then into the infamous hairpin. And now you make your way down towards Spoon Corner. Now this is very... well, the Spoon Complex, actually, not the Spoon Corner. As we're going to bring up the track map for this one. Very long track, this one. Lap time is expected to be about 2 minutes long, as we're still looking at Lane Fowler just coming out of the left-hander now. This is where it gets interesting as he makes the long run down towards this famous left-hander. I apologize, I'm just dealing with a couple of things right here. Yeah, and that was the Casio triangle that he just went through. Before that was the 130R, now a famous section of corners as Lane Fowler comes to start his qualifying lap. Now, lots of interesting things to talk about here tonight. Tony Watson, can he hold on to his championship lead after tonight? And is Carter McCollman going to be the man to take it away from him, because he's been absolutely on fire since he made his debut earlier in the season. He's going to be looking to continue in this one as we get closer and closer to the end of the season here with Endurance for Amateurs. Now, there isn't... we're calling them Endurance for Amateurs now because they've bumped the maximum I rating up to 2,500. It was 2,000 before, now it's 2,500. So they've changed the name to Endurance for Amateurs from this round onwards. And going to be very good to see for that one, so very interesting. Now, just going to go through the weather for tonight's race, and it is 65 degrees Fahrenheit out there. That gives us a track temperature of also 65 degrees Fahrenheit. It's cloudy out there, so don't expect too much sunlight, but it is the evening time here. And you can see how fast the timer's going. They have 2 times the dynamic guys here tonight, so it will go to night time very quickly. As we're still looking at Carter McCollman here, we're still waiting for times to come in, and Lane Fowler will be the first one to come across the line. Now he's coming down towards 130R and a very high rate of speed in that Audi. And let's see what sort of time he can put down right here as he comes through the Casio triangle. Down, out through the right-hander and down towards the line, and it's actually Paul Boyle that's put the first time in, but it's actually Dennis Diaz that's going to get the fastest time of all. He's at the top right now with a 1:54.951. As he is he's about 0.3 of a second of Bryce Anderson, who was fastest in practice right there. Now let's pay attention to this paint scheme. Now, anybody who knows a certain streamer would know this one. And it says on the back right, we're going to go to take a look at Dennis Diaz's car. This one did make me chuckle. If I can find it. There we go, chase. It says, please don't Punterino on the bottom right of the rear bumper. He's got a bit of a mean car here tonight. Please don't no Punterino, obviously paying homage to the great Jimmy Broadbent. As he makes his way around. Grant Yingling going to the top of the board in his Porsche. As he goes through the 2 danglers down towards the hairpin now. Stephen Thompson out in P4 right now in the BMW. Paul Boyle having a good qualifying so far. He's currently sitting in P5. What about the Gt3 drivers, you are asking? Well, it is Tony Watson currently sitting on pole position for Gt3, followed by Carter McCollman. Then you've got Lynn Kopp in 3rd place. Now it's 3 of your top 4 in Gt3. Up in the top 3 of Gt3. There's Lane Fowler. Zachary Nürnberger driving a Mercedes this time round, if it'll show me, and rocking the camouflage this time. So another interesting paint scheme as he cuts through the Casio triangle, and that's going to be a slowdown, and that's going to be him giving up his time right there as he's going to go around again. Looks like he's struggling for handling in that Mercedes, and he's going to go straight into the wall. So interesting for that one. Raphael in the other Mercedes has had a pretty quiet start to his E4A career as he crosses the line, and he will get P7 in GT3 so far. Bryce Anderson still out there on track right now as he's looking to close the gap on Grant Yingling, who's currently at the top of the board by only 49 1/1000ths of a second. We do have a new driver out in the field. That's Josh Stafford out on the track right now in the Mercedes. You see him right there in the all-white AMG scheme. See what he can do here for this one. As he crosses the line, and he will get a time good enough for P11. Actually, P12 in GT3. Marcus Osborne in the Reese's BMW. I told him I'm not going to be happy if I see another bent-up Reese's BMW, so I hope he keeps that promise. And also, I hope he keeps the promise that if he gets on the podium, he will give everybody free Reese's, and I'm not going to say no to that. Big hello to everybody that's watching here tonight. Meme MW, that's the one. Golf McLaren F1. Good one for that one. Yeah, free Reese's, that'll do me nicely. Big hello to everybody watching on the iRacing Live portal right now. Don't forget we have another broadcast on the other side of the channel for you starting in just about a minute. That is Sim Racers Edge. They are also on road courses tonight. They are at the Silverstone circuit as Marcus Osborne slots into P6 in GT3. Bryce Anderson still not able to complete the well, get to the top as we're looking at Jesse Brannon in his Corvette. Just coming through the Casio triangle now. And will he continue for another lap? We'll soon find out. And he will not. He will take it down pit road as Marcus Osborne is still out on track as well and looking to progress his time as he's coming up through the S's right now. And he's going to make the left turn and a big climb up towards Degner 1 and Degner 2. There's Degner 1, there is Degner 2. And down towards the hairpin. We're going to go on board with Osborne as he looks to get a better time here. Out of the hairpin now, and now towards the Spoon complex here. A very interesting set of corners. You get this long right-hander. And then it just, you got to brake very quickly and then turn at the same time as he runs it wide for the first left-hander. That's going to cost him his lap time, I believe, because I think it's an off-track round there. As we do have another new driver, Derek Koslowski is out there as, oh, a bit of a interesting angle going into 130R as qualifying comes to an end here, and just like that it is over for this one. So let's bring you the grid for tonight's for tonight's race actually, as we are ready to go. So starting up on the pole will be Grant Yingling, and he will have the best chance to get that run down towards turn 1. Bryce Anderson will join him on the front row. Dennis Diaz and Michael Ogren will make up row 2 in GTE, followed by Stephen Thompson and Paul Boyle. Then you've got Brad McCombs and Jesse Brannon making up row 4. Row 5 will be Aaron Mathery and Mark Dillon Jr. Row 5 will be, yeah. Row 6 will be Terry Calgar Jr. and Kyle Payne. Row 7 will be Tony Watson and Carter McCollum. Row 8 will be Lynn Kopp and Derek Koslowski. Row 9 will be Fernando Oliveira and Marcus Osborne. And row 10 will be Zachary Nürnberger and row 11 will be Rex Hoyle and Raphael Santiago. Row 12 will be Daniel Barnett and Emily Mathery. Row 13, if it's going to let me. It's not going to let me. And we've got 24 drivers, so there we go. The rest of the grid, we have Josh Stafford, Connor Daly, Sean Atkins, and Timothy Emanuele. So that is your grid for tonight's race. I'm not really sure why my timing and scoring isn't working, but we are ready to go racing. It's Grant Yingling, the man that won a couple of weeks ago at Le Mans, looking to pick up his second race win here tonight as we are ready to go rolling in just a second. Don't forget there is a gap between GTE and GT3 as they make the run down towards the line. They are starting up on the backstretch just before 130R. And definitely going to be interesting to see who's going to get out in front for this start, as for some reason a little bit of lag there. I do apologize. As they come down towards the Casio Triangle, everybody just trying to make it round safe and sound as they come through. We've had a bit of an incident for Kyle Payne, but no, nothing too serious as they come out of the Casio Triangle. And down towards the start-finish line, we're ready to go racing here at Suzuka as they come through the final corner and down towards the line. Green flag should be in the air, and we should be racing here at Suzuka as they come across the line. That's your start for GTE as they all make it down towards turn 1 now, and it's going to be Grant Yingling bringing them down through turn 1 in towards turn 2 as we go and wait for the start of the GT3 class. As they come down across the line, down towards turn 1, it's going to be Tony Watson leading down towards turn 1. Carter McColeman, but not going to be far behind in second place. Lynn Carper in third. Fernando Oliveira in P4, as we still have it all nice and clean in both classes right now. There is Marcus Osborne, followed by Lane Fowler, Zachary Nürnberger back there. There's Rex Hoyle, Raphael Santiago, as we've got a problem for, well, no problems for GTE. They are all running nice and safe right now. Coming through the second deck net, down towards the happy for the first time. There's a problem for Bryce Anderson, as Dennis Diaz is going to take advantage of that one, and he will. Oh, and there's contact between Diaz and Bryce Anderson, and game over already for both of those drivers. Big problems for Diaz and Anderson. As we now looking at your new second place driver, Stephen Thompson, and we're going to go back and take a look at what happened between Anderson and Diaz. That is a horrible thing to happen on the first lap of the race. And we're going to go back and take a look at it right here, and you see Diaz. Oh, I think there was a bit of miscommunication there between both drivers, as they both ended up in each other, and unfortunately into the tyre barrier, and that's going to put them way back through the field. They're going to have to do some catching up now, as Grant Yingling already out to a decent lead here. 1.5 seconds the gap between Yingling and Ogren. And there is Ogren in second, there's Thompson in third, Boyle up to P4 after all that. P5 going to Brad McCombs, Jesse Brandon in P6, Aaron Mathery in P7. As there's Mark Dillon Jr., Terry Calgar Jr., Kyle Payne up there, Bryce Anderson and Dennis Diaz going to be dealing with some damage early on. As now your new race leader in GT3 is Carter McColeman, and that is bad news for everybody behind him, because once Carter McColeman gets out in front, nobody can catch him. Hopefully someone does in this race, because that will make it a bit more interesting as he comes through the S's for the second time here tonight. We've got 1 hour and 20 minutes in this race, and we've already seen a lot of action in this race. For those that are just joining us, massive collision between your two top drivers in GTE. Bryce Anderson and Dennis Diaz coming together just before the hairpin, which is not good news for them at all. And they have to do a lot of driving to make their way back up through the field, as now we're looking at Stephen Thompson put in Michael Ogren under a bit of pressure as they come out of the Spoon Complex, now down this long straight towards 130R. There is Thompson, Ogren right in front of them. And they make it through 130R, no problem at all. Brad McCombs there in P5 right now, driving a BMW this week. Usually drives a Corvette, as we've seen a lot of locking up there. I believe that was from Stephen Thompson and Michael Ogren, who were battling in front of Aaron Mathery right there in another anime car, as we see the as we see the number 3 of Mark Dillon Jr. currently sitting in P8, the Pony Express BMW. Bryce Anderson and Dennis Diaz still so far behind us. If we look back at GT3 right now, and they are quite spread out at the moment, actually. McCollum leading, Tony Watson in second, Lynn Kopp in third. There is Fernando de Oliveira currently sitting in P4. P5 is Marcus Osborne, Zachary Nürnberger P6, Rex Hoyle P7, then you got Raphael Santiago, then you got Lane Fowler, Daniel Barnett, Emily Mathery there in the BMW, Kyle Payne, then you've got Kyle Payne actually GTE, same for Connor Daly, both of those not having the best of starts to this race. As we're having a few issues here, so we apologise. As there is Grant Yingling, Michael Ogren still in second place with Stephen Thompson right behind him. And the closest battle right now is actually between Jesse Brannan and Aaron Mathery. There is Brannan and Mathery right behind him. As Mathery running a bit wide through 130R. You don't want to do that too often, as you're going to spear off wide and into the tyre wall. As there goes Brannan, there goes Mathery, and he's got a nice onboard shot of the man in the 81 as they come across the line. You see lap times coming in very regularly as well. So this is your closest battle in GTE. Not really any battles going on in GT3 as Marcus Osborne gets it all wrong into the Casio Triangle. Might close the gap between himself and Rex Hoyle. Hoyle trying to hold off Raphael Santiago. There's Lane Fowler right behind them as well. As they make their way down towards turn 1, here comes Santiago trying to put a move on Hoyle, and collision between the two, and that's going to put them both into the gravel. Well, Hoyle into the gravel anyway. Santiago, bit of an interesting situation right there between the two. As we go back to GTE, and there is your battle for second place in GT and the race overall. Jesse Brannan and Aaron Mathery still going at it as well, as you see them right there. Oh, we've got one off right there. That is Paul Boyle. Boyle's had an incident right here. Let's take a look and see what happened to Boyle. Got it all wrong through Spoon. And he's going to be on the back foot now, as he's now behind Dennis Diaz. Diaz driving like an absolute demon right now to make all that time back up he lost with the collision with Bryce Anderson. As he's looking down the track, and you can see Terry Calgar Jr. not too far in front of him. Same for Mark Dillon Jr., who's in P7. Your biggest mover in the race so far is actually Emily Mathry, as she is currently sitting in P18 overall, P7 in GT3. As again, I apologize for the what's going on right there, as I'm just working on something here, I apologize. Anyway, back to the racing. Jesse Brannon still battling out there. Aaron Mathry right behind him. Mark Dillon Jr. not too far behind. As Dennis Diaz is right on the back of Terry Calgar Jr. now as they come down towards 130R. As we have one in pit road right now. That would be Josh Stafford. And Stafford having a baptism of fire here in his first race here in that all-white AMG. And it's through turns 1 and 2 he goes off. And just takes it to pit road. So not really sure what the issue is there for Stafford. Just a bit of a backwards, well, a bit of a sideways moment going through turn 2. So with the first part of the race underway and everybody just trying to figure out their positions, we are going to take a quick commercial break right here, as we will be right back in just a few minutes with some more racing action. Do not go anywhere. We are back live here at Suzuka for round 5 of the Endurance for Amateurs series, and it's Grant Yingling still leading things at the front here as things stand, with Michael Ogren in second. Brad McCombs now up to third. Stephen Thompson having a bit of an incident there, moving backwards into P4, but Dennis Diaz has been your biggest mover so far. He is currently sitting in P5 and really enjoying life at the moment on his comeback. There is Jesse Brannan in P6. Aaron Mathry still battling out these two, Mathry and Brannan, for that P6 spot as they look to move forward, as we've had a problem for Mark Dillon Jr. Now we'll go back and take a look at that, I believe. Oh, he's coming for his pit stop already. We're on lap 9. We're 16 minutes into the session, as we're going to go back and take a look at GT3 right now. And at the moment, it's Carter McCollman just absolutely enjoying life at the front of the field as your leader. Tony Watson in second, Lynn Kopp in third place, and Fernando de Oliveira having a good race there out in P4 in GT3. Marcus Osborne in P5. There is Lane Fowler right behind him. Then you got Rex Hoyle, who had that incident with Raphael Santiago earlier. We've got an incident for Mark Dillon Jr. Let's take a look and see what happened here. Coming out of turn 1, was just coming out of pit road. And all cold tyres for Dillon, just spinning him around. And unfortunately, having to take care of his tyres. We've got Daniel Barnett in pit road for some unknown reason, not really sure why. But there is your race leader. That is Grant Yingling, looking for his second race win of the season. Same for Michael Ogren, but look at the traffic that Ogren's having to deal with. There is Santiago is going around, and right in front of him there is Sean Adkins. And in front of him is Timothy Emanuele, who's actually running a BMW this time. And that is a pretty good old paint scheme he's running, once it shows up. If it shows up. It will eventually, as we're going to go to Bryce Anderson, who's still trying to make his way forward. There is a battle for P4 right now, as there is Brad McCombs in front. Right behind him is Stephen Thompson, and right behind them is Dennis Diaz. That's your battle for third place right now. 3 BMWs line astern. And it's going to be to see who wants it the most here. I know Dennis Diaz wants it the most because he was involved in that collision on lap 1 with Bryce Anderson, as Sean Atkins has had an incident here. As we are still working our way through the early parts of this race, and they're already coming up on lap traffic as well. That makes for interesting situations here. Oh, we had an incident. Yeah, that was Sean Atkins that went off. Atkins is back up and running once again. Let's go back and see what happened to Atkins. We saw that when the 3 BMWs battling for third place were going for it, and he just went into the corner a bit too hot there, and went for a trip across the grass as well for good measure. So Atkins having a bit of a fun ride there, as we're looking at the battle for third place right now. Brad McCombs, Dennis Diaz has now got it around Stephen Thompson, and can Dennis Diaz get it done as they make their way in towards the 2 Degner corners? And Raphael Santiago is in that mix as well, as they come up towards the hairpin. And they get around Timothy Emanuele. And Emanuele just holding up Diaz ever so slightly there. That might give an advantage to Stephen Thompson here as they come through the right-hander and down towards the Spoon complex. As Lynn Carp is now in pit road for his pit stop as we go back to this battle here for third place here, and McCombs has got away. Diaz just starting to get away from Stephen Thompson now. As I apologize, just need to change one thing on here. And that should be better, as we are making our way on lap 12, 21 minutes in of 120 minutes, and Diaz now has been passed by Stephen Thompson, going in towards the S's now of this part of the track. And McCombs already trying to put a lap on somebody, but for some reason my timing and scoring is frozen up. I do apologise. As we can continue this race, and this battle still going on between Dennis Diaz and Stephen Thompson here, as we're experiencing a whole plethora of problems here for some reason. As we can go back to live pictures right now, and this battle still going on. Diaz there in P4 right now. They're still trying to chase down Brad McCombs there. McCombs doing ever so well to stay ahead. As this battle still rumbles on for third place in GTE. Let's go back to GT3 right now, as Tony Watson still trying to close the gap to himself and Carter McCollum, but the gap is quite sizable. I apologise, timing and scoring seems to have completely frozen up at this point. So Carter McCollum still your leader in this one. Watson in second, Oliveira in third. There is Fernando de Oliveira in third place after Lynn Kopp has brought it down pit road. Lane Fowler in P4. Jesse Brandon has fallen down a few spots. He was in a battle with Aaron Mathry. Not really sure what happened there. So Brandon on the back foot. Mark Dillon's been on the back foot as well, as he had that spin and made that early pit stop. As the battle between Diaz and Thompson really petering out, as we're now going to see a battle between McCombs and Diaz. Coming down towards 130R. And oh, McCombs just a bit too harsh in towards 130R. That was still able to stay ahead of Dennis Diaz, as Emanuele has had an incident. Take a look, and it was a battle with Santiago. Oh, just got a wheel on the grass there, and almost saved it. Almost saved it. But unfortunately, Emanuele having to cede a few more spots there as we go back to this battle for third place between Brad McCombs and Dennis Diaz right here. McCombs running wide. Diaz going to look to the outside. No bueno so far as they go through the final part of the S's as they go up the hill now towards the Degner corners. And now they will. I apologise. It's Stephen Thompson not letting these guys get away either. The great battle in between this field right now as Dennis Diaz going to look to the outside now, coming down towards Degner 1. Not going to have the opportunity this time round. Degner 2. And up towards the hairpin. And McCombs staying out in front just for now. But watch for Stephen Thompson though. He's ready to pounce if anything goes bad there as they go around Kyle Payne right there. Payne in the BMW not having the best of races tonight. He's currently sitting last of the drivers still running. I believe Josh Stafford is out. And that would be absolutely true as McCombs has made a mistake there. A pretty big mistake, and we're going to go back and see it. We just got to it as it was ending, and again, it's McCombs. It's another driver that's run wide through that corner. He can get it wrong very easily. And that has promoted Dennis Diaz back up to third place now. So Diaz has almost finished all that hard work he's put on so far, but now has an 8.9 second gap to make up to second place Michael Ogren, as we're seeing a battle here between Aaron Mathry and Paul Boyle. Remember, Boyle had that incident through the Spoon Complex. And is making his way back up as well. Bryce Anderson not too far behind him either in the other Porsche. There he is, just trying to make his way forward here. That's Carter McCollum still leading in GT3. Very spread out is GT3 right now. There's Mark Dillon Jr. making his way around Marcus Osborne. There's really no contest there as they're both in different classes. Back to the battle between Boyle and Mathry. Oh, a big off there for Carl Payne. Got it all wrong there on the exit of Degner 2. And also a big incident there for Aaron Mathry. Just goes straight on at the hairpin. And that will be position conceded to both Boyle and Anderson. No problems there for Aaron Mathry. Emily Mathry's had a problem as well. Let's go back and see what's happened to her. As they were coming through the left-hander on the exit of the Spoon Complex, and Mathry just running wide there into the gravel. He keeps it in a straight line though, so no problems there for the 98 as we go back to Bryce Anderson, who's trying to close the gap on Paul Boyle right now. The battle between two Porsches starting to brew up here as time is still ticking away here. We still have lots of time left to go in this race as Boyle actually locked him up going through the Casio Triangle. Bryce Anderson there up to P7. He was outside the top 10 for a while after that collision with Dennis Diaz. In the background there you saw Terry Calca Jr. just coming through the final section of the track, and there's Aaron Mathry who had that off into the hairpin, now down to P9 in the GTE. Now Carter McCollum has made his way up to the top 10 in well overall, so good run for Carter McCollum, who's looking for his fourth race win in a row, and will surely take over at the top of the point standings if things stay as they are. Tony Watson will get P2, but long way to go. We've got about 50 minutes left to go in this race, so still lots of racing left to go. as we're looking at Michael Ogren right now. He's coming up to put a lap on Zachary Nürnberger. Nürnberger's got quite a bit of damage there on the front of that Mercedes. As Sean Atkins' problems continue here, as there goes Ogren. Looking to the inside of Nürnberger out through 130R, and Grant Yingling just enjoying life out in front right there. Not doing too badly at all. Dennis Diaz, though, has got that gap between himself and Michael Ogren down to about 7.3 seconds. Not too shabby. For some reason, my overlay isn't working properly. I apologise. As I'm having a plethora of problems myself here tonight, so again, apologies for the troubles, as we are trying to get this fixed. But I will call out the positions as they happen. Fortunately, things don't seem to be going my way here tonight, so I do apologise. As we continue on. It's trying to what's going on here? I'll be with you in just a second, ladies and gentlemen. There we go. Full reset, full done, and we are ready to go again. As again, I apologise for the problems we've had here tonight. I do not know what's causing them. They've been stemming from last night. I've been trying to fix it, but unfortunately things aren't going my way as we go back to racing action, as Bryce Anderson now is really closing in on Paul Boyle for that number 6 spot, and there is Anderson just behind Boyle as they come through turn 1 and 2, as they're right behind Emily Mathry right now. Mathry just trying to find a spot to get out of the way of the leaders. Well, the guy's trying to lap her anyway. Randy Yingling, like I was saying before the issues there, is enjoying life out in front though. Has an 11-second lead over Michael Ogren now, as Brad McCombs now is back within touching distance of Stephen Thompson after going off through the Spoon Complex as they go around Raphael Santiago. As Emily Mathry's had an incident here, and it's involving Bryce Anderson, I believe. And Bryce Anderson was trying to get around Paul Boyle, and Mathry just lost control, hit the side of Paul Boyle's car and hit Bryce Anderson as well. And that is a disaster for Mathry. The question is, how much damage do Boyle and Anderson have on their cars after that one? Anderson obviously losing a bit of time there after that one. And Boyle probably got some right side from some left side damage there, as showing Zachary Nürnberger in pit road, and he is. Sean Atkins also in pit road. As we go back to Michael Ogren right there, the gap between them is now 4.9 seconds as the gap keeps coming down, but Diaz still working on the back of the Triple Eight of Derek Koslowski and gets around him. Stephen Thompson still under a bit of pressure from Brad McCombs right now. That's your battle for P4, as there is Thompson, there is McCombs, as they make their way towards the hairpin. As we've had another incident there for Mark Dillon Jr. Let's take a look and see what happened here. And Dillon Jr. just losing it through the exit of the spoon section and almost gets it into the wall, but somehow able to save it. Good action on the brakes there, but Dillon just backs it into the wall, undoing all the hard work he did to stop it. But back to Diaz here. Has a 4-second lead. No, has a 6-second lead over Stephen Thompson right now. He's gained that lead pretty quickly as Grant Yingling actually sets the fastest lap of the race so far. The great run he's having here tonight, but still a lot of racing left to do. Dennis Diaz, now the gap between him and Ogren, 4.9 seconds. So the gap's still coming down between those two. As this battle between Thompson and McCombs still going on. Actually, McCombs has actually had a problem here. Ashley McCombs is actually in pit road for his stop, so a scheduled stop here for Brad McCombs. It's a very bumpy pit road down there, as he's going to come in and get some fresh tyres and some fuel. Going to probably be a strategy call here for the driver of the 23, Paul Boyle, in pit road, as well as we're going to take a look at Terry Calgar Jr. as Bryce Anderson. Question is he going to bring it in very soon? Because obviously Boyle and McCombs playing the strategy game here. And we'll try and get the undercut done on Thompson and Anderson respectively. Look, Boyle was in front of Anderson, so not really a problem there. As Carter McCollum has had an incident here. What's going on here? Take a look and see what has happened. Oh, McCollum's got massive damage on his car. What has happened here? And we're going to take a look and see what happened. Coming through the left-hander. Oh, it was Zachary Nürnberger that got into him. And Nürnberger had it off. Let's take a look and see what happened here. And it's not going to show me, is it? And Nürnberger coming through the final part of the spoon section, understandably, like everybody else, just lost the back end of the car. And McCollum, oh, just bad place, wrong place at the wrong time. And Carter McCollum in serious danger. Tony Watson in pit road at the same time, so this might actually help Carter McCollum. Tony Watson has had an incident as well. Let's take a look and see what happened to Watson. Through 130R. Oh, and he lost control of his Audi. At the same time, McCollum was trying to recover it. And big damage on both of those. And that, unbelievably, is going to leave Fernando de Oliveira out in the lead of this race now on GT3. So all is changing as we've got one going a bit sideways behind him, and that was Aaron Mathry. Fernando de Oliveira leads GT3. All changing in the second class here in this race, and Fernando de Oliveira is your outright leader in this race, and it's going to be Lane Fowler in second place, Derek Koslowski making his debut here tonight in third place, Rex Hoyle in P4, then you got Tony Watson, who's now out of pit road, in P5, then Carter McCollum in P6. He's going to have to do some serious driving if he wants to get another win here tonight. An uncharacteristic mistake there by McCollum, just taking to the grass to try and avoid Nürnberger, but Nürnberger was obviously down there already, and collision was inevitable. McColeman on the back foot in this one right now as Emily Mathry has gone off again. As Grant Yingling now in pit road from the lead for his pit stop. Michael Ogren is going to bring it in as well. Will Dennis Diaz bring it in? The answer is no. Diaz wants the lead of this race and wants to get a lap led at least, as there goes Yingling into his box. Ogren going to make his way down to his box as Fernando de Oliveira comes in from the lead in GT3 as well. So pit stops happening all over the place as we're now going to wait to see if Diaz and Thompson are going to bring it in soon, because Thompson stayed out as well. You can see him making his way out of turn 1 in towards the S's. Bryce Anderson in pit road as well, probably getting some damage fixed there, with Terry Calca Jr. also in. Now we're going to take a look and see where Paul Boyle and Brad McCombs are, and they're just coming through the final part of the track as naturally McCombs well ahead of Paul Boyle. And let's see if he can get the pass done on... Actually, Stephen Thompson is still out on track as Diaz is out on track as well. So we're waiting for those top two to come in. Bryce Anderson is still in pit road. Actually, no, he's just coming out now. And he gets out well ahead of Paul Boyle here, who's only just making his way through the Casio Triangle. So... a great pit stop there for Bryce Anderson, who now he rejoined in P5 there, so he's made a very big leap forward there as he's out ahead of Brad McCombs as well. So a big jump in positions. There is collision between... oh my goodness me, it's happening all over the place. And Carter McColeman has had another off here. Let's take a look and see what's happened to the... BMW driver, as I'm having trouble with my scoring again, as we're going to take a look at what happened to Carter McColeman through Degner 2 and just ran wide, I think. Is that all it is? And I believe the answer is yes. So it wasn't really a problem, just Carter McColeman ran wide. As Dennis Diaz has entered the pit road. He is in for his one and only stop of the night. And that is going to be interesting to see, as Michael Ogren is only just making his way out of 130 yard towards the Casio Triangle. Now let's see if he can at least try and close the gap on Dennis Diaz. Ogren has already been in pit road. There is Diaz just leaving pit road right now. Where is Ogren? Just coming down the main straight right now. This is actually going to be closer than I thought. And there is Diaz making his way into turn 1, and Ogren right behind him at this juncture. So actually Diaz getting the jump on Ogren through the pit stops, and that's just going to leave Stephen Thompson, the last driver in GTE, to make it towards pit road right now. Fernando de Oliveira losing out to Carter McColeman through the pit stops. He's fallen back and is now in a battle to try and see if he can catch up to the driver of the 10. As Rex Hoyler's had an incident, a big incident into the hairpin. I want to see that happen. Didn't get any damage from it, so no problems for the driver of the 54. Timothy Emanuele's had an off track as well. As now Stephen Thompson makes his way through 130R. Will he bring it down towards pit road this time as he comes towards the Casio Triangle for the 23rd time tonight? Our survey says no. Stephen Thompson will stay out for another lap here, as Michael Ogren trying to put Dennis Diaz under a bit of pressure here. As we've got an incident there, I believe that's Raphael Santiago. That's facing the wrong way. And it is. Let's take a look and see what happened to Santiago. As it's through that same corner again where everybody else has gone off, runs wide, and that's good enough to send him round into the tyre barrier, unfortunately. the Raphael Santiago having issues here. Stephen Thompson making his way through the S's right now. There is Dennis Diaz just putting a lap on Tony Watson, who is currently sitting in 4th in GT3. Lane Fowler is currently your leader. I don't think Lane Fowler has been in pit road yet, so Fowler needing to still has to make a pit stop. Same for Derek Koslowski, and I believe Rex Hoyle has yet to come into pit road, so he's got to bring it down too. Zachary Nürnberger in a battle right now with Timothy Emanuele, and that is your battle for 10th place for 9th place in GT3. Right behind them, if he just pokes his head out a little bit more, there is the Pony Express machine of Mark Dillon Jr. As he's currently sitting P11 right now overall, and P11 in GTE. As Jesse Brannan's had an incident here. Actually, Jesse Brannan's bringing it towards pit road, so no incidents there, but I'm guessing it's because of this incident right here. If it'll show me, yeah, a bit on the grass there, and oh, that's going to be a tough one. You go back live, and Brandon going to bring it down pit road. McCombs is sitting in P6 right now, and is probably in disbelief as to how he managed to get jumped in pit road by Bryce Anderson. As Anderson is currently sitting in P5 right now, overall and in class. I apologise again for the blinking. Brannon's still in pit road right now as we're looking at Carter McCollman as he continues his recovery drive after a big incident there, and we got another big incident right there, and that's Tony Watson involved. Can't see who that is because of the blinking. I'll find out in just a second who it was. Of course it's not. Anyway. We are about ticking over into 49 minutes into this race. And because I'm rocking solo here tonight, we are going to have to take another break here because I need water and a bathroom break. So with that, and with everything pretty much settled down and only one driver yet to make a pit stop, that is Stephen Thompson, we're going to take a quick commercial break here as one, we get things figured out here, and two, I need to go to the bathroom. So we'll be right back in just a couple of minutes while we play a couple of ads here. We'll be right back. Welcome back to Endurance for Amateurs, and we've finally got Stephen Thompson in pit road for his pit stop. Now let's see if he can stay out in front of Dennis Diaz, who still holds on to second place now, 4.9 seconds ahead of Michael Ogren. Now we've got a new leader in GT3, and I don't know how he's done it, but Carter McCollman is now leading GT3 once again. And it just astounds me how he's able to get back up there once again, despite his big hit and the amount of damage that was on his car. He is now back in the lead in GT3. Tony Watson currently sitting second. Third in GT3 is actually Fernando de Oliveira. Then you got Derek Koslowski. Then you got Rex Hoyle. Lane Fowler, after his pit stop, has fallen down to P6 in GT3. As we are getting to the final part of this race, and I don't know why it's showing that. Bear with me 1 second. As we reset the timer, there we go. As there is Lane Fowler. Dennis Diaz now has taken over the lead from GT3 GTE. Now this is a perfect opportunity for Diaz to get the victory here. He's got nobody behind him, nobody in front of him. He has just got to keep it on the black stuff, and he can bring home the victory here tonight. This is your battle for second place, though. Michael Ogren and Grant Yingling currently battling out for second place. Now, Yingling has been absolutely on fire since the drop of the green flag, but he has fallen back to third through the pit stops. And is trying to get around Ogren. Thompson currently sitting in P4. I've had incidents here. I'm not really sure what's going on here. As Adkins has gone off right next to Grant Yingling. Paul Boyle's had an incident as well. Let's go back and see what happened to him. Oh, that is a pretty big incident there for Paul Boyle. As that is a pretty scary incident for him. As he's going to fall back to P7 now. Your leader, Dennis Diaz, has extended his lead even more to 6 seconds. But this battle between Ogren and Yingling still going on here. And they're side by side coming out of the hairpin now. Yingling has the outside line. Ogren with the favourable inside line as they go through the right-hander into Spoon. Yingling has to concede for now. Ogren doing a great job of holding on to second place. Meanwhile, a bit further back, there's a battle between Bryce Anderson and Brad McCombs. This one's been going on pretty much all race long, as we're into the final 20 minutes of this race now. As these guys are pretty much nigh inseparable right now, as Ogren finding himself still under pressure from Grant Yingling. Yingling losing a bit of that gap after the having to back off through Spoon. Able to close the gap just yet, but he's going to give it the old college try before this is over. Stephen Thompson there in P4 right now. He's a good 22 seconds ahead of Bryce Anderson, who's still trying to shake off Brad McCombs here. McCombs looking for a top 5 here. Anderson still playing catch up after the collision with Dennis Diaz on lap 1. So that's why he's as far back as he is. McCombs has just fallen backwards through the pit stop, so no problems for him so far. Really, not any serious problems, as Paul Boyle is back out on track again and is trying to play catch up again. He's about 36 seconds off the back of Brad McCombs. Terry Calgar Jr. just having a decent old run. He's in P8 right now, as Mark Dillon Jr. just in P9. Carter McCollman is top 10 in overall and leader in class, a good 4 seconds ahead of Tony Watson. Who's making his way through the 2 Degner corners. As we had a problem for Lane Fowler. Let's take a look and see what's happened here. And lost it through turn 1. A nice big sideways moment there for the man that led a couple of laps of this race so earlier on. Gets it going once again though, no problems there for the Audi driver, as Diaz still leading this piece here by quite a margin over Michael Ogren. As Tony Watson has passed. The battle for in GT3 is petered out completely. There is no battles out on track whatsoever right now. Andy Mathry right there, currently in P8 in GT3. She's probably going to be very happy with that one. Probably the best result of the season so far. She's about 2 seconds ahead of Zachary Nürnberger. As there's been a pretty big incident for Connor Daly. Let's take a look and see what's happened to him. As he's in a... Oh, that's what's happened to Connor Daly. Oh, no! And Grant Yingling gets involved in it in a big way. And Yingling will not be happy with that one. As it looks like the GT3s were battling it out between them. And unfortunately, the GTE driver is getting caught up in it. Mark Dillon Jr. has had an off as well. Into the Degners and just runs wide out of Degner 1. So he's able to keep it in a straight line though. Less than 15 minutes to go, and it's this man out in front by now, 9 seconds over Michael Ogren, and this is his best chance to get a win here, as now Ogren has shaken off Yingling through that incident involving Connor Daly. Stephen Thompson still in P4, and Bryce Anderson now has got away from Brad McCombs, who's had an incident somewhere. Oh, Brad McCombs has actually been in pit road, I apologise, as he's fallen back to P7. Still has a decent enough gap over this man though. Terry Calgar Jr. still in P8. Paul Boyle back up to P6 now, despite the incidents he's had so far tonight. As now Boyle is actually trying to, just got passed by Brad McCombs there. So that was your battle for P6, and it petered out pretty quickly as McCombs just sailed on by with fresh tyres and fuel in the car. Stephen Thompson there in P4. Not really any battles going on right now, as Boyle and McCombs still going at it right there for P6. There is Bryce Anderson. But let's go and focus on this battle between McCombs and Boyle. I'm pretty sure it's pretty academic at this point because, like I said, McCombs has got fresh tyres and fuel, whereas Boyle has put a few laps on that Porsche right now after his pit stop. I'm pretty sure we've gotten over all the technical issues right now, so we can keep it on going. I apologise for the issues before as Boyle runs wide up the hill and he's going to go into the tyre wall. A big incident there for Paul Boyle, and that's even more damage on that Porsche after that scary incident he had earlier with scraping the barrier. He's going to have even more now. That rear wing is absolutely bent sideways. Not a happy bunny. Here's the Brit now, who got a podium at Canadian Tire. Fortunately not going to get that this time around. He's going to be pretty far back now in P8. He's now behind Terry Cowger Jr. Still got a decent gap over Mark Dillon though, so not too much to worry about, but he's going to have to go in and get a fast repair here. That is a pretty beaten up Porsche at this point, as Dennis Diaz is still leading this thing. We've had an incident for Bryce Anderson here. Let's take a look and see what's happened. Just ran a bit wide and Anderson into the wall, and that is a big accident for Bryce Anderson, and I believe that might be night over for the championship leader, or will be former championship leader now, as that will put pay to his chances in this race, as we're looking at an off track for Grant Yingling, as well as he was in a battle with Michael Ogren. They'll get back on track, but the gap is going to be quite large now between himself and the second place driver, as Tony Watson still trying to chase down Carter McCollum. The gap's still 2.8 seconds between the two GT3 drivers, and Watson still has damage on the front of that Audi right now, as Bryce Anderson will not be happy after that one. I believe he might have put it on the hauler, and I think he has. So Bryce Anderson out of this race now, unfortunately. And I believe that's his first retirement of the season, as we're now looking at a battle brewing for second place between three drivers here. You see, looking at Grant Yingling, in front of him is Michael Ogren, but look who's in the background. That is Stephen Thompson starting to close in on this battle as well. So we might be looking at a three-way battle here for second place in GTE, as Timothy Emanuele puts in his personal best of the race so far. Daly still in pit road after the incident involving himself, Grant Yingling, and a couple of other drivers, as Emily Mathery has been off track again in this one. As we're still looking at Stephen Thompson trying to close that gap to Grant Yingling. We have just under 10 minutes left to go now in this race, and it's coming down to the Boyle, and it's coming down to the final curtain call for this man in the 420 Meme MW, as it's been christened. Looking to get finally his first race win of the season. It's been a long time coming, but again, less than 10 minutes to go. Still a bit of racing left to do. All he's got to do is keep it in a straight line, and he will have his first race win of the season. Michael Ogren, though, not so much plain sailing for him. He has Grant Yingling still breathing down his neck, as Carter McCollum still leads this thing. And let's talk about the story of Carter McCollum. He got absolutely ruined. His car got absolutely wrecked earlier by a spinning Zachary Nürnberger. Tried to avoid Nürnberger but went the wrong way, and it was basically again a case of miscommunication between the two drivers that seriously damaged Carter McCollum. We thought that was going to be it for Carter McCollum, but no, managed to get him back into pit road, managed to get a fast repair, and thankfully Tony Watson had a crash as well shortly afterwards, and that kind of helped Carter McCollum. Fernando de Oliveira still in third place in GT3, had the lead for a while but lost it through the pit stops, and somehow Carter McCollum has been able to claw his way back up to the lead in GT3 again, and It's not plain sailing right now. Tony Watson is closing that gap to McCollum as we are coming to the final part of this race now. As Tony Watson, oh no, Watson's had an incident! And that will put the battle for the race win in GT3 to an end here as Watson got it all wrong on the exit of the Cassia Triangle and he got it all sideways, and now that might do it for the battle in GT3 as Carter McCollum now enjoying a 10-second lead over Tony Watson. I like that one, Jocelyn. And yeah, you are right. Marcus Osborne, currently sitting in P6 in GT3, has not had a serious incident yet. And I say yet because there's still racing left to do, and I don't want to jinx him at this point, but he has managed to keep that Reese's BMW in one piece, and we don't want to see any more Reese's pieces all over the track. As he's trying to close the gap to... well, there's no point. He's about a minute behind Rex Hoyle at this point. So, but just as I say that, Rex Hoyle has an off track as he's about to be lapped by Dennis Diaz. And Diaz almost got caught in that one. I bet he's... Diaz must be thinking, oh my God, not again. As another GT3 car went off right in front of him, as it has happened for the past 3 to 4 weeks now. Diaz must be thanking his lucky stars there was no contact this time round, as he is out to a 14-second lead over Grant Yingling, who's now up to second place after displacing Michael Ogren. Stephen Thompson still in fourth place. He's actually dropped some time there to the top, the other two guys in the top three. Big heartbreak for Tony Watson though. He was really looking up for it to try and get that lead away from Carter McCollum. He's got the gap down to 9 seconds again already. So you can tell there's definitely some pace in that Audi. You saw Jesse Brannon just in front of Watson. He's been in pit road. He's 3 laps down on Bryce Anderson, but overall he is 7 laps down. So unfortunately Brandon not having a very good night here tonight. Let's look at the gains here, and the biggest mover is in GTE is Terry Gallagher Jr. He's up 5 spots. Biggest mover in GT3 is still Emily Mathery. Timothy Manueli actually moving up 3 spots each, so it's kind of tied for biggest mover in both in that respect. So we're into the final 5 minutes of this race, and it's this man really out in control right now, and we didn't think that was going to happen. At the start of the race, after a collision between himself and the now retired Bryce Anderson on lap 1 going into the hairpin, and it was a bit of a miscommunication between the two, causing the collision. Both of them ended up in the gravel trap going into the chicane, and unfortunately Bryce Anderson has not had much luck since. He's now out of this race, whereas Dennis Diaz has absolutely been on it since that incident and has forced his way to the front of the field. And Josh Hernandez is right, the racing gods are always trying to keep Diaz from getting the W, but I think the racing gods are smiling on him this time, as we are just about 3.5 minutes left in this race now, as there is Grant Yingling in second place, Michael Ogren in third. Now we have a battle in GT3, as there's a battle between Zachary Nürnberger and Emily Mathery for what I believe is 7th place in GT3. That's one thing to keep an eye on. As behind them is Sean Adkins. Behind him is Mark Dillon Jr. as they go into the hairpin. Not really any battles going on. This battle between Algren and Yingling still staying, well, not really a thing anymore. Not really any battles in GTE right now. But there is still the opportunity for drivers to trip over something, go off track, hit the wall. Anything can happen in this final 2.5 minutes, and a lot of people, and I'm guessing a lot of people in the chat room right now, absolutely praying that this man has a clean run for the final couple of minutes, because he is on the penultimate lap of the race, I believe. And we'll be absolutely praying that that checkered flag comes out soon enough. As we've had an incident for Marcus Osborne, let's go back and take a look and see what's happened to him. And he just ran wide. Don't hit anything, Marcus. I swear on my life, people will be coming after you if you damage that car, and he doesn't. As he finally keeps it on the track. Martin Jr. and Zachary Nürnberger have had an incident here through the Casio triangle. Let's take a look and see what happened as they come out of the triangle. And oh, that was an interesting incident. Go back and take a look at it from a different angle right here. I'm not really sure what happened here. Nürnberger just slowed down right in front of Mark Dillon Jr. And that's what caused the collision there. As we go back to Dennis Diaz, and you've got to think that this is the final lap now for the race leader. And again, as I've already mentioned, had adversity at the start, a collision with Bryce Anderson put into the back of the GTE field, but since then has been absolutely on it like a car bonnet, and has now, and through the pit stops, found his way to the front of the field. And has been unstoppable since the pit stops. Through Degner 1 for the final time, through Degner 2 for the final time. And it's just been dominance here from Diaz. Been so unlucky this season with regards to getting a race win, but this time he is not taking any chances. He's almost got into it with another GT3 driver, but got out unscathed as he comes through Spoon for the final time. And now he will make that dash down towards 130R for the last time here tonight for this 5th round in the Endurance for Amateurs Racing Series. Through 130R for the final time. Dennis Diaz makes his way into the Casio Triangle for the final time. And out of the triangle for the final time, gonna be clean and sailing as Dennis Diaz comes to the line and finally gets his race win on the season. Well deserved for Dennis Diaz. Finally coming across the line, getting that victory right here at Suzuka, and coming home in 2nd place will be Grant Yingling. He'll be happy about that as he will cross the line. And Michael Ogren will cross the line in GTE for 3rd place. Now, your top 3 in GT3, well, Carter McCollum still on his final lap here. As the top 3 actually not confirmed in GT3 yet. Tony Watson and Fernando Oliveira not crossed the line as yet. As he comes through towards the Spoon section for the final time. Stephen Thompson has crossed the line for 4th place and probably going to be pleased with that one. Lane Fowler has crossed the line for GT3, same for Daniel Barnett. Timothy Emanuele finishes this one this time around, and great result for him. As there goes Terry Calgar Jr. Brad McComb's actually going to cross the line here for 5th place in GTE. A very eventful race for him tonight, and we'll be happy to have finished this one as we're going to take a look at Carter McCollum coming through the Cassia Triangle for the final time here tonight, and he will come down and somehow pick up his 4th race win of the season, and will surely take over at the top of the board now in GT3. Tony Watson somehow gets 2nd place as well. Fernando de Oliveira coming through the triangle for the final time as well. He will pick up a fantastic podium in GT3 here tonight. Very well deserved for the BMW driver, and he's looking very happy about that one. 3rd place for Fernando de Oliveira. And aside from the technical issues we've had here tonight, what a race we've seen here in GT, in the Endurance for Amateurs GT series. And it's Dennis Diaz that has taken his 1st race win of the season in this one. And with that, we're going to try and see if we can get some interviews in right now, and that we will. And we're going to bring in your race winner for tonight, and finally gets the chip off his shoulder. Dennis, you got to bring that meme MW out more often. You got the win with that one.
That livery is #blessed. Finally, I got luck. Finally, after the incident in the beginning, to fight it back and recover like this, that's what I wanted.
Yeah, absolutely. And let's talk about that incident between you and Bryce Anderson. What did you think after that one happened? Obviously, it looked like a bit of a miscommunication between the pair of you. Did you think it was over at that point, or did you actually think you could actually make it back?
Oh, no, I thought it was over. I thought the GT3s would get passed. I thought the car was going to be destroyed. I thought I was going to get a technical flag. And then Bryce in the driver's chat was like, I'll let you by, but I couldn't catch up. And then he made a mistake, so I was like, all right, you know what? Let's just go, see where we end up. Then I started seeing 6th place, then 5th place, then 4th place, then 3rd place. I'm like, okay. Then I see 2nd place, and I'm catching up to Mike. He pits, I pit after him, put enough fuel to get in front of him, and I double stinted the tires, so the strategy was good. And lo and behold, all of a sudden I'm in 1st place, and I'm like in sheer disbelief. But I'm like, you know what? Let's just keep going, and going, and I went. I sent it, and it rewarded me finally.
Absolutely, and talk about those pit stops there. You were fighting back for the last spot in the podium when those pit stops happened. How were you? You said you double stinted the tires. Was that how you were able to get the jump on Yingling and Ogren at the end there?
Ogren, from where he was behind me, he double stinted as well, and
Okay.
Yingling took a set of front tires. I was always planning to do double stint, but after the collision, I was afraid that the tires wouldn't last like Sebring. So once when I came out and they were only like at, I don't know, 60-something, 67% of the wear, I was like, oh, okay, these will make it to the end perfectly fine. So after that, I just controlled it. From there on, I saw that they were falling back from me, and then I just controlled the pace, fuel saving, just making sure I wasn't doing anything stupid to ruin it. And yeah, just lifting, coasting when I can. And yeah, it's good. It ended up working, so.
Yeah, absolutely, and it's definitely going to help you with regards to going into Road America next week. This win has actually put you, I've just updated the points there, and it actually has put you to the top of the standings now by 8 points there. Got to give you a lot of confidence heading into Road America next week.
Yeah, it should. But every race is different, as you saw by today. Every race is different, so we don't know how everything will pan out. But if the other ones end up like this one, okay, let me rephrase that. I don't want it to happen like this one. I just want it to be a nice, clean race and not having to fight back through the field. So hopefully Road America is different than this, but has the same result.
Yeah, and obviously with everybody else falling around you, Bryce retiring near the end there, that's what's giving you the points lead. Definitely going to be looking forward to Road America. It's going to be a different challenge around there as well. Obviously, they call it the American Spa. Is that the way you see it as well?
Not necessarily. I think Spa is a little bit more technical than Road America. From what I know of it, it's pretty much pick your breaking point, pick your turning point, and if it works, it works. If it doesn't, it doesn't. So that's that's pretty much how I see Road America.
Right. So I'm not going to keep you much longer because I know you want to go and celebrate. But before I let you go and celebrate, anyone you want to give a shout out to for bringing it home to victory lane tonight?
All right, for friends and family watching, finally I brought it home. To my friends, the Ascended Monkeys, always mention them. Two people that I have to mention specifically: Joe Hutchings from Hutch Sport Racing, who made delivery, and then Aaron Taylor, who helped me gain more precision through the sectors of the lap, making sure I just picked up time there. So thanks for the help. And then, yeah, Mark for hosting it. You guys, well, right now I think it's only you for broadcasting it as always. Just yeah, that's pretty much it. That's all I can think of. But yeah, shout out to everyone that participated as well.
You can tell it was only me. I'm the only one that's up here, and I've had all the technical issues tonight. But anyway, congratulations once again, Dennis, and we'll catch you next week when we head to Road America.
Alrighty, thank you.
That was Dennis Diaz joining me in the booth there from Victory Lane. Now, joining me from second place will be, and once I get my thing figured out, there we go. Once I get it figured out, now we're going to have the man that finished second in GTE. And we have him right there now. Grant Yingling joining me from second place. And Grant, a very eventful race for yourself, but seemed to have lost it a bit there through the pit stops.
Yeah, I didn't realize the pit strategy apparently was to not take tires at all. Assumed people were just going to take fronts, took all 4 tires, and had a great scrap at the end, but I had no idea I was even racing Dennis the entire time.
Yeah, I mean, everybody must have thought after the incident between Dennis and Bryce at the start there, going up towards the hairpin, it was pretty much plain sailing for everybody else. But Dennis just drove like a man possessed there. I'm guessing you're thinking the same as me. After that incident there, it's just got, you like blocked him out of your mind. You didn't think he was going to come back at you again.
I saw him die in my rearview mirror, and I assumed that was the end. I'm glad for his sake that it wasn't. It sounds like somebody's the bride today.
Yeah, finally he got his win. But this one, another good result for yourself, though, Grant. Following on from your win at Le Mans, gonna be happy with how your race went tonight. Obviously, you didn't win this one, but like I said, you had an eventful race, and it didn't come without its incidents either.
Yeah, I'm definitely happy to do any racing at Suzuka. This is one of my favorite tracks, and I feel like I put a good performance on tonight. Fortunately, it wasn't enough, but we'll get them next time.
Yeah, and you were in a good battle there with Michael Ogren near the end there. Great battle in between the two of you. Managed to catch up to him, but there was a bit of a collision with a GT3 car near the end there, and kind of put you back again. But you managed to get that second place back again. Just a bit of an eventful end to the race for yourself.
Definitely. He definitely gave me a good run for my money, and at the very least, it was a very interesting race. Got to practice some racecraft, and that's what it's all about at the end of the day.
Absolutely. And looking ahead to next week, we head back across the pond, back across to the States as we head to the world-famous Road America circuit. What are your thoughts heading into that one? Which car are you bringing for that track?
If I had to guess offhand, I would say probably the Corvette. I don't have much GTE experience at Road America, but I do have a lot of GT3, and they're not too different. Hopefully I get a better result in our VRSE. We may have had a little accident in the Audi last week.
Yeah. But definitely a good result for you tonight, Grant. Before I let you go and celebrate your second place here tonight, anybody you'd like to give a shout out to?
I could keep it nice and short. I would like to give a shout out to Pony Express for putting this all together. They've done a great job so far, and I'm thrilled to see this continue.
Absolutely. The newly renamed Endurance for Amateurs series Definitely a good name to behold, and hopefully it grows from season to season. Grant, congratulations for second place here at Suzuka, and hopefully we'll see you bring some more luck next week when we head to Road America.
Fingers crossed.
That was Grant Yingling joining me in the booth, and now joining me in the booth, your winner from GT3, and I can't believe I'm saying this because you had one hell of a race tonight, Carter. How the hell did you manage to get back on back to victory lane after that?
Good question, and to be honest, a lot of luck afterwards, and just I don't know, a lot of no luck for Tony there, because yeah, I think the race was going to be his in the end if some incidents didn't happen there. But yeah, really lucky in the end. That's basically it.
Yeah, and talk about that incident which almost cost you the race there. It looked like a bit of miscommunication between yourself and Zachary. Zachary was spinning in front of you. It looks like you tried to go around him, but probably went the wrong way. Is that the same thing that you saw?
Yeah, I mean, in the end, I did go the wrong way. I was expecting him to more hold his brakes and just kind of stay put. So. And the other thing is he was, I believe he was facing towards the wall. So if he was going to roll backwards, it was going to be into the track. So I thought, okay, if he's not going to hold his brakes, he'll roll backwards into the middle of the track. So I'm going to go grass side, try and avoid. But he put it in gear and drove a little forward and clipped me. But in the end, it's all good. I know he didn't mean any harm. So it was just a bit of a miscommunication, as you said.
Yeah, and after the incident, you managed to get back in, get your fast repair, and get back out again. And obviously, the bad luck for Tony Watson fell in your favour, and you managed to win it pretty convincingly at the end there. And this is your fourth race win in a row here, Carter. You absolutely putting on a clinic for this league right now, and got to be pleased with how things are going so far.
Yeah, very pleased so far. I mean, can't get much better than 4 wins in a row. Obviously, I'd like them to be a little less chaotic, especially these past 2. They've been they've got the heart going a bit, but in the end, 4 in a row feels awesome. Tough luck for Tony because he could have had me today. Tires died near the end, but yeah, unlucky and lucky today, basically.
Yeah, and this win actually brings you up to second in the points standings as well, just 5 points behind Tony. So from next week onwards, battle on for the championship lead now as we head to Road America. What are your thoughts heading into that one next week?
That's a track I've actually never driven. It's I don't really know the track at all. I don't own it currently. It's yeah, I don't know what to expect. I could be really far off the pace, or I could be on it really quickly, depending on if the track suits me and everything goes well. But yeah, it could be an interesting one. Absolutely,
always interesting when we head to Road America. But I'm sure you're pretty capable of it. I'm pretty sure you said last week that you'd never driven a Suzuka, but you managed to get the win here tonight. So I'm pretty sure that's what you said last week. Anyway, before I let you go and celebrate your win, though, Carter, anybody you'd like to give a shout out to, say thanks to?
Yeah, I want to thank Mark Dillon Jr. for putting on the league, H4SR for sponsoring. I want to thank Drive for IBD for supporting me through this league. And yeah, I mean, I just want to thank myself for not giving up in this one again. So yeah.
Absolutely. Well, Carter, congratulations once again on your 4th race win in a row here with the Endurance for Amateurs series. Go away and celebrate, and we'll talk to you next week when we head to Road America.
Thank you very much.
That was Carter McCollman coming home in second, coming home with his 4th race win of the season, and really putting on a show for everybody. Despite adversity, still coming home with a victory is very much it's not something to be sad about. But anyway, let's go to our second place driver. And Tony, if you didn't have bad luck, you'd have no luck at all. I'm pretty sure you're feeling the same way, right?
Absolutely. I've been trying the last few weeks. It's just doing my best, and just the luck. When I do seem to get luck, it just turns right around on me. So I thought I was going to be able to steal one from Carter this week, but just couldn't pull it out.
Yeah, and you saw the wrecked BMW. You went past him, but unfortunately, he wrecked again right in front of you, and you couldn't avoid him, and went off yourself. That must have been a bit of a heartbreaker for you.
Yeah, we're right at I think 130R coming through there. I saw him and I let off, and just the back end gets loose. I caught the edge, and once that was it, I was along for the ride. And luckily I was in a pit window, and I tried to scramble off of that, but caught more bad luck after that. So. But, I mean, that's racing. So, I mean, I can't complain with the finish.
Absolutely. And a good finish again. It still keeps you at the top of the point standings by 5 points. So, not something to be sad about. But still, you still got to be looking in your rearview mirrors for that number 10 BMW still breathing down your neck as we head into next week.
Oh, absolutely. Carter, I got to keep an eye on him every week, just because I know he's going to be a little bit quicker. And like I said, I knew this week I'd be able to at least try to stick with them. So it just puts a little more pressure on me, but I like it. I'm going to focus on next week and see what I can do and make it as hard for him as I can, I guess. I mean, that's all I can do, really.
Absolutely.
Hopefully the luck gets better.
Hopefully, as we head back to America next week, when we head to Road America, obviously going to be a track that's very familiar with a lot of the Americans in the league, and I'm pretty sure you're familiar with it as well, right?
Oh yes, absolutely. It's one of my favorites. I mean, I wouldn't say I'm one of my best tracks, but I know it. It's real fun. I like it. The straights, the the hills, slow speed, corners, high speed. So it's got it all. It's it'll be a fun one. That's for sure.
Yeah. Which car are you thinking of bringing to that one? I noticed you've been running the Rainbow Warrior the last couple of weeks. You're going to bring the Lamborghini out again?
I don't know. I'm gonna see how it feels on there. Run a couple tests. It's just I just am so used to the Audi, the R8 and the Rainbow Warrior on there. It's just it's comfortable. It's like a set of clubs, I guess. It's just it's what I'm comfortable with.
Absolutely, and it's always fun to drive what you're comfortable with and what you know. Stick to what you know, as what I always say. But anyway, before I let you go and celebrate your second place or commiserate your second place, no matter how, depending on how you feel, Tony, anybody you'd like to give a shout out to or say thanks to for your second place here tonight?
Oh yes, absolutely. I like to thank my family, my wife, my kids, my in-laws, Robert and Judy for watching. I know they're watching, and anybody else who's out there watching. You guys for the broadcast. Like I told you last time, I love it. It makes me feel like a professional, and and the sponsors for the league, H4SR. So I'm just glad for the opportunity. I'm looking forward to next week.
All right, well, Tony, congratulations on your second place. I know it wasn't the result you were hoping for after Carter had his wreck, but definitely well-deserved second place and still championship leader going into next week. So we'll hopefully speak to you when we head to Road America next week.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. Good talking to you.
So that was Tony Watson coming home with second place here. Obviously, not the result he wanted. He was very much in the running for a win, and he almost caught Carter McCollum again before the race ended, and unfortunately had the spin coming out of the Casio Triangle, costing the win. But big result of the night coming from the 420 garage here tonight. Dennis Diaz picking up the win here for this one, as we are going to go to the results of this race, and I hope it lets me, because I really don't want to have to go through all of the things again, as we're going to go for the overall standings for this one. as we are going to go and get the results for you right now, and coming home with the victory here at Suzuka. Not sure why it's saying Sebring. Let's try that again, shall we? And coming home with the victory here at Suzuka was Dennis Diaz, finally getting that chip off his shoulder and bringing home the victory here tonight. Grant Yingling will cross the line in second place, and Michael Ogren will get the third step on the podium for GTE. Fourth place going to Stephen Thompson, fifth place going to Brad McCombs, sixth place going to Terry Koga Jr., Paul Boyle in P7. Carter McCollum picking up a GT3 win for the fourth time in a row here. He comes home in P8 overall, then Mark Dillon in P9. Tony Watson in P10 overall, then you got Fernando de Oliveira in P11. P12 going on his first race here tonight, Derek Koslowski in P12, Rex Hoyle in P13. 14th going to Marcus Osborne. 15th going to Zachary Nurnberger. Very incident-filled race for him tonight. 16th going to Emily Mathry. 17th going to Lane Fowler. 18th going to Daniel Barnett. 19th going to Timothy Emanuele. Bryce Anderson, tough race for him tonight, ended in retirement as he gets P20. Jesse Brandon had an incident in the race as well. He comes home in P21, 7 laps down. Connor Daly ended up on the hauler. He got P22. Aaron Mathry out of the race as well, P23. Sean Atkins coming home in P24. Then you got Raphael Santiago, P25. P26 going to Lynn Kopp. P27 to Carl Payne. And Josh Stafford, your first retirement here tonight, getting a P28. But that's going to do it for us here on ESPN with the Endurance for Amateur Series. Great racing overall, and we do apologise for the technical glitches. We are trying to get them ironed out as quickly as possible. But for now, that's going to do it for myself here. My name has been Sam Cooper Bennett here for ESPN, and all that's left for me to say here tonight is keep it clean, keep it green, and we will catch you next week live here on ESPN when we head to Road America. Have a good night.